The apartment smelled of iron and rot. A single bulb buzzed overhead, flickering shadows against the walls where blood had dried into thin, deliberate lines. He hadn't just been killed, he'd been arranged. A chair overturned near the corner. A phone ringing on the floor, unanswered, screen cracked, name flashing, unknown. I shouldn't have been here. I wasn't supposed to see this. But the silence was already broken, and the body wasn't going to explain itself. The night was silent, yes, but not safe. And somewhere in the dark, someone wanted me to notice. I didn't call the police, not yet. Noise invites questions, and questions bury truth before it can breathe. I studied what didn't belong. A family photo frame on the floor, but the glass wasn't cracked. Someone had placed it there, not dropped it. A laptop still glowing, the cursor blinking on an empty draft email. No senders, no recipients. The blood wasn't smeared, it was mapped, almost a message. Every detail pressed against me like ice. I forced my mind to slow. Fear screamed, but logic whispered, wait. This wasn't random, it was meant to be read, meant to be understood. The neighbors' stories didn't match. One swore they heard nothing. Another claimed a loud argument. Too rehearsed, too eager to redirect. When I asked about him, eyes shifted too quickly. Conversations turned brittle, like glass about to snap. I replayed every step inside that apartment in my mind. The photo frame, the unsent email, the phone that rang at the wrong time. It wasn't coincidence. It was orchestration. Someone wanted the scene discovered, but not solved. And that someone wasn't far. Their silence grew heavier than their words. Paranoia took root in me. The crime wasn't about theft. It wasn't even about rage. It was control. Every glance I caught, every hesitation in their voices, I realized the killer wasn't hiding in the shadows. They were standing in plain sight, smiling too easily, waiting for me to break first. The break came quietly. A folder slipped into my mailbox. No return address. Inside, a recording. His voice, trembling but steady. Words scratched with finality. If this reaches you, it means they've done it. Don't trust the ones closest. The truth is buried in plain sight. I replayed the file until the words etched into me like scars. Then I noticed the faint background noise, a distinct hum. I knew that sound, the generator in the basement of his building, and layered above it faintly, laughter. Familiar, too familiar. I traced it back to the neighbor who swore she heard nothing. Her voice, her laugh, her silence. The truth was there, always, in the space between what she said and what she didn't. This wasn't passion, this wasn't mistake. It was staged, meticulously, to look random. But the recording stripped her precision bare. She hadn't killed for anger. She killed because she could. Because power isn't taken loudly, it's stolen in silence. I didn't confront her with words. Words give choice. Instead, I gave her no space left to breathe. At the neighborhood meeting, I let the recording play. His last words, her laughter bleeding into the silence. Every head turned toward her, eyes shifted like knives. She didn't deny it. She couldn't. The calm broke in her face before the room's silence did. I didn't smile. I didn't gloat. I only watched as the weight of exposure hollowed her from the inside out. She was finished before the police even arrived. Justice isn't always about handcuffs. Sometimes it's about timing, about pulling the last mask away when they least expect it. And in that moment, she knew. I hadn't just uncovered the truth. I had owned it. When it was over, I walked home. The city still moved, indifferent to what it had just swallowed. Her name would fade in headlines. His face would linger in obituaries. But for me, they were carved in silence. I didn't feel triumph. I didn't feel relief. Just the clarity that comes when lies collapse. The blood had dried, the evidence collected, the whispers silenced. But the night still felt heavy, not with fear, with truth. Somewhere, another crime was waiting to be arranged, another silence waiting to be broken. Justice had no mercy that night. It only had me. And I've learned one thing the hard way. The city never really sleeps. It only watches.